We have some updates on that weather with us, specifically the air quality. Hopefully it does improve because hiking is not only a beautiful thing to do, a good way to actually exercise too as well. But right now, not the best time because you can see a large swath of the Northland under unhealthy air quality right now, primarily on the Minnesota side. This is going to shift east as we go through the day. This is why we do have those air quality alerts in place. So we just need to keep an eye on the air quality as we go forward, and because it can have some pretty significant health impacts, specifically if you do have some underlying issue that air quality can really impact. And as you can see here, the smoke forecast, this is why we're seeing is all that wildfire smoke from Canada. This is, as we pull forward, you'll notice it starts to kind of move out, but it wants to linger into Tuesday. So even though the air quality alerts do expire today, I want to keep updated with that air quality as we get forward into Tuesday especially. Now looking at satellite radar, you can see we have some of those showers making their way into the western portion of the Northland. Looks like more southern portions of the Northland are actually going to see more rain, and it's because of the system out west, and it's going to slowly sink on down, and it's going to bring some rain, specifically to northern Minnesota. As I mentioned here, even though it's showing in northern Minnesota, it looks like some of it can actually shift a little bit further south, especially early in the day, because we see from the satellite radar, and it's going to continue mostly in the northern half of Minnesota here as we go into the overnight hours. But it's not going to just be a northern Minnesota event, because as we get into Tuesday, notice the rest of the Northland is going to start seeing some of the showers and thunderstorms from this system. And you see we do have a little bit of severe threat today for northern Minnesota, a marginal risk, and for Tuesday, the rest of the Northland. Now the threats, again, are going to be pretty low overall, but we can see some damaging winds as well as some large hail. But the biggest threat from this is actually going to be the flooding risk. As you can see, we're under a slight risk for excessive rainfall for a good portion of the Northland, specifically on Tuesday. So just keep an eye on any flash flooding in your area, because we can't see a decent amount of rain, up to 2 inches overall in some spots, with some local areas probably getting more than that, 3-4 inches at times. So just keep updated with that, with any severe threats that could come with any storm that goes through your area, as well, especially if there's training storms, seeing if there's any local flooding. And as you can see with the winds, with any system, going to pick up a bit, and is on Wednesday is going to see the strongest winds out of the northeast, and with the rain and these northeast breezes coming off Lake Superior, this is the signs of cooler weather. And you can see it as we go forward. Today, you see it's going to be in the 80s for a lot of us, except for the far northern Minnesota, where we're going to have some of that rain. But we're going to roll this forward, because you can see here the cooler areas are going to continue to sink further south into Tuesday. A lot of it is around 70 degrees, it looks like, and 70s into the 80s. And then as we get into Wednesday, this is where we're going to really feel the cool weather. Most of us now around 60 degrees, so it's definitely going to feel cool outside once we get into the middle of the week. And in fact, I mean, this pushes us from going around 5 to 10 above the seasonal average for today in the 80s, more humid day, so it's definitely going to feel warm, into getting close to 20 degrees below the seasonal average. That's a 30-degree difference, so you're definitely going to feel the cool weather as we get into the week. And we're going to continue to feel that cool weather as we go forward here. See, we're not going to stay as cool, but we're going to be staying pretty below the seasonal average once we get all the way to the end of this week. And we look at our 7-day forecast. Today's the last day of the warm air, hopefully the last day of the smoke too, that we really have to deal with, before some rain makes its way in and bringing in some cooler weather. But with